Okay, so anyways, so listen, the real star of the show's back anyway. It doesn't matter. This guy. It is his house, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, so this is Super Bowl. I didn't even watch it. I know that that's like my job, but Rams versus Bengals. I didn't really care. There's a crying kid behind me. That sounds awful. So listen, how's everybody doing? Batman's coming up. I gotta be honest with you, Robert Pattinson looks fantastic. I got to watch the trailer again, but I don't know, Catwoman? Was it Catwoman? The Penguin and the Riddler? Anyway, looks fantastic. Super stoked about it. Haven't really done anything with my life other than get used to my own personal situation. Got a kid in my life now, not biologically mine, but so I'm trying to get used to the whole stepdad life. That's why my attendance on this awesome show of ours has been lackluster, and I do apologize, even though I'm pretty sure Zach by himself is better than I am. I'm rambling. I apologize. So, wrestling. We can talk about wrestling real quick. I don't know if he wants to talk about it, but the Elimination Chamber was recently, a couple weekends ago. Brock Lesnar's the champion again, so it looks like Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar is for belt is going to happen. I have a feeling that they're going to go where he'll be 2 belts for a little bit, and then he'll drop it like Becky Lynch did a couple years ago. What else is happening at WrestleMania? Edge has an opponent that hasn't been announced yet. I definitely think Cody Rhodes is going back to WWE. He seems to have figured himself out wrestling-wise. That sounds awful. He seems to have figured himself out persona-wise. I just kind of hope that Vince and Triple H don't screw him over again with that whole Stardust gimmick. I'd like to see him and his brother Dustin back together again in WWE. Hey, we're talking about WWE stuff.
WWE?
Yeah, wrestling?
Oh, WWE.
Kind of spitballing here. I didn't know what you had on the docket.
Well,
but I wanted to talk about something that you probably weren't planning on talking about. I said we talk about Brock Lesnar. Definitely think Roman's going to be double champion, but I think he's going to drop the belt. One of them. Like Becky Lynch did a couple years ago when she was double champion.
Who do you think he's going to drop the belt to, though? You don't think he...
Drew McIntyre.
That's not a bad choice. Do you think, though, they're going to unify the belts?
I hope not. I hate when they keep doing this. Either separate it, leave it separate, or don't.
I think you should have one belt. I like one. Why do the 2 shows have to have different storylines?
Because it allows you to diversify your talent, and it actually makes your the drafts interesting. Remember when John Cena got drafted to Raw? It literally made his career.
Right, but the problem I have with that is that he's staring you down. While I agree,
it's the beard,
that I like having 2 shows, make it 100%
Shut up.
shows.
So listen, the game's coming out soon.
It is supposed to.
And I am.
So you may be able to play that, but not Madden. That's
probably.
Crazy.
No. I'm excited to buy it and then never use it.
That's crazy. Listen.
To buy it for my Switch just so I can play something.
My Pokemon Legends Arceus. It is the best Pokemon game without a doubt. It's not like the kitty. It's like open. It's open world Pokemon.
I would, but this 21-year-old kid at work's been talking about it nonstop, and I won't.
Why?
Because I don't want him to find out somehow, and then also he wants. Bro, this dude offered to bring in his Switch to show me his Pokemon, and I was like, number 1, Mo's right there. He can't know that I like Pokemon. 2, I don't like you. And I hope all your Pokemon devolve. Is that something that can happen? Can you wish that upon somebody?
What's
up, man? He smiled for a second.
Yeah, I didn't take the time. This is my little boy. This is Emmett.
No. Tell him what his name is.
This is Emmett.
No. It's EJ.
This is EJ. It's fine. You call him EJ.
I'm not saying Doc Brown's name in here.
Stop.
From Back to the Future. Emmett Brown.
What if I told you I hate that movie?
So you hate that movie.
I do.
You don't like Emmett Smith. You don't even know who Emmett Till is.
No. I like the name Emmett. Anyway, EJ.
Is it because it's alliteration?
No. I just like the way it sounds.
You didn't name him Emmett because you named her Eden?
No.
I don't believe you.
I promise.
If you have another kid and name him like Edwin or something,
No.
Elbows or Eve.
No, listen.
Elbows.
Listen. Emmett was one when we first started talking about potentially having kids and having names for kids. Emmett was one of the names on our list. So when we had a boy, it was the boy name we both liked the most, Emmett. There's nothing else other than that.
Is her favorite running back Emmitt Smith?
Do you think she knows who Emmitt Smith is?
I hope so.
She does not. Hi, little buddy.
She.
So when my oldest daughter was little, she would join. Sir.
that was so aggressive it scared himself.
Not only was it so aggressive, I felt his chest get smaller. That was a big. Are you gonna spit up on me, dog? Don't do it. Anyway.
Panicked, bro. Panicked.
He's good. When my oldest was a baby, we didn't have the visual. We only had audio. So I would hold her, and sometimes I'd have to record with her because
we had to finish the episode.
We had to finish the episode with her, and we
y'all
called her our third co-host.
Y'all don't know what it was like recording that because our episodes had to have been like 3 hours long a piece because all the stopping.
Yeah.
She did not like to sleep.
Nah, back in the day, if we were lucky, we'd get a full hour and a half, 2 hour window where she wasn't awake. He's not even there yet. He's struggling. You can see him in the corner.
He's just aggressively upset.
So yeah, we're working on it with him, but he's not quite there yet. So we gotta make sure I have something.
He'll be here one day. Right here.
Definitely. You join in, but yeah. So what I did have on the docket was we talked a little baseball last week. I don't remember why.
I missed it?
We were talking about.
I missed it.
He's talking to you, by the way.
Bro, I missed it.
You did. And we were talking about the Mariners and Ken Griffey. I don't really remember the full context of the conversation, other than Tony was like, "Hey, did Ken Griffey play at the same time as A-Rod with the Mariners?"
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so I said, "I don't know, maybe," but the wrong person is here to answer that question. I did look it up. Obviously, they did.
Not very long.
No, but you obviously knew that. But did you watch the video I sent where they lost a home run derby to 18-year-old
David Ortiz? Yeah.
I
That's because that was before A-Rod was juicing. Anyway, so
he never did that.
He doubled in size. What did he? Fusion with another Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, his future self, his past self. He fused with the 18-year-old.
That dude's damn near a billionaire.
No, well, yeah.
And he married.
He signed two contracts of 10 years over $500 million, right?
No, he signed 2 contracts over $300 million.
300. Damn, I think I said 2.
It was like, I think one was like 275 and one was like 325.
Yeah, one with the Rangers, right?
So right now, Mike Trout has the biggest contract, right?
Ever for one contract.
Juan Soto,
who's
plays for the Nationals, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
Got offered $350 million and he said no. So if you're his agent, immediately when you walk out of the room, you fight him. 10% is what?
$35 million. Yeah, no, definitely.
You're fighting him in the hallway.
The door's gonna click.
Bro, the door's not even clicked all the way. The door's shutting, and I uppercut him on his mouth. Not because he wants 500.
Is he Mike Trout?
Yeah, no. Your name is Juan Soto. Oh, here, that doesn't sound anything like Mike Trout.
Look at hi, little buddy. Oh, bless you. Big sneeze. Anyway, so WWE. First of all, Brock as a good guy has been superb.
I am
super impressed.
That's not what I'm impressed about. I'm impressed about his mic work now.
Right.
Where the hell have this been?
Okay, not only that, right?
Who knows? Maybe they didn't let him talk.
No,
Maybe
but
Paul.
They didn't, because that's Vince's thing. The monster doesn't speak. That's his whole shtick, right? You good? What are you freaking out for? So Vince definitely didn't let him talk. However, he's not great.
No, for sure.
So like when you
keep it sweet and short to the point.
But like when he did you see last week when he's on Monday Night Raw?
Your ass. Or is that
No, on Raw this last week he was like, I'm gonna go take the belt from Roman. I'm gonna become the double champ. Blah blah blah. And Paul Heyman comes out and starts talking to him. And then Brock ends the thing with Brock, and his voice cracked Lesnar, and it's like, dog, he's so big, and
his voice is like Anderson Silva. Your voice doesn't mask the scariness behind it.
No, it doesn't mask the scary, but also I'm talking shit about his voice. Talking about your voice crack again, bud. But I know I'll die, so you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were like, you know how you and your friends start talking shit, but somebody stumbles on their words and that's it, they lose. They're gonna get fucked up, and that's what's gonna happen to him. Yep, you're gonna get roasted. I'm gonna.
And then I get F5 for real. I guess a real move because I can't counter it. You did the Big Show. What am I gonna do? Little feet just.
Like when Goldberg jackhammered the Big Show.
That was back when he was Paul White, aka the Giant.
With the hair.
The Giant.
Yeah, that was with ECW.
Yeah, because WCW because
WCW.
They said that he was Andre the Giant's son. No, he wasn't. Not two. Just because there's two big white guys.
That's what when they said the Undertaker and Kane were brothers.
They are in my heart.
Definitely, brothers of destruction. There, when you find.
So speaking of the Undertaker, thank you for saying that.
Oh.
So he's up for the Hall of Fame. I know you're surprised. I know.
Oh, I can't.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
That's like
touch and go.
That's like
couldn't believe it.
Ooh.
They're saying that a lot of fans are wanting him just by himself to be inducted this year, just him. And I was like, yeah, I support that. Here's my only problem, right? So Paul Bearer is dead.
Yeah. Who inducts him?
Who inducts him? The only one I could think of would be the Kane, but who? It might be Vince McMahon himself.
All right, check this out.
Because you know their relationship behind closed doors was really close.
Yeah. How about this? How about this? How about this? How about this?
You got who?
You got suggestions for me? Little man was giggling. I was gonna try to say the Undertaker, but
the Undertaker inducts himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't really talk.
So, biker
HBK,
Undertaker.
right, like the American Badass inducts the Undertaker or something. But that doesn't work.
HBK would be our biggest rival in like our lifetime.
But he's not his biggest rival overall.
And they're like not like might be. They're not. They had some of the most memorable WrestleMania matches of all time.
Back to back, right?
Yeah, that was where Shawn Michaels retired. I don't know who inducts him. It might be Vince, bro.
Vince wouldn't be bad.
Only because 30 years, bro.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry, you guys, if you guys don't like wrestling, but there is something to speak that you do it for so long and you're still on top of your game. Sorry, it was cough.
Oh, you cough now, but was it Tom Brady's dick?
No, it was Braun.
We'll talk. We got listen. Bless you, little buddy.
Here, I think he's allergic to our bullshit.
Here, can you say, bless me? He's a lot cuter than that. That was a whole bad pose, but he likes you. He's smiling at you. So, listen.
I think my scariest
WWE
kids.
You got the stench on you now. But WWE, I think you're right. Brock or Roman's gonna beat Brock, but I think they're not gonna unify the belt. Well, I had a point and I got distracted.
They're gonna do what they did with Becky Lynch
in the same night.
No.
Oh,
she'll carry the belts for probably to the next pay-per-view.
Drop one.
Probably, to me, honestly, the one you drop is.
You think they let Roman get it?
Raw. You think I think that he beats Brock?
Yeah.
Yeah, he beats him. He probably beats him clean too.
But Roman's the heel.
Here's my problem, right? I'm so tired of Roman versus Brock at WrestleMania.
It's only been 3. It's only the 3rd time.
It's okay, but it's too much, too quick.
It's been like
who do you think you are, Stone Cold and The Rock? Nope, neither one of you are. Nope.
No, I agree. However, they are your 2 best draws in the game right now, without question.
Why? Here's my. Can we talk about something?
Yeah, definitely. We can talk about it. I don't know if you're gonna like my answer.
Know how much I love Goldberg, right?
Goldberg's fantastic.
Stay the fuck away,
dog. Little man's talking to you, by the way. Do you
What's up, man?
All right, let's test something.
What's up, man? So listen.
I just want to see if he was gonna cry. I'm impressed.
You done?
He's like, I can't see you anymore. I'm surprised. I definitely thought he was just gonna cry when Squish hi.
Squish wouldn't even come near me for like the first 2 years, bro.
She was like, whenever he would come, she just, and she wouldn't unlock. She would just until he left the room.
She would go around the couch, like she wouldn't even go nowhere near me.
And
bro, who's this?
But
so
you good, boss man? Here, let me.
I think Ronda beats Becky
You think?
Lynch. Yeah.
I think.
No, is it?
Yeah, no, it's Charlotte. It's Charlotte.
Charlotte
and Ronda, but and
Charlotte?
Charlotte has the belt.
Yeah, I think Ronda. No, I think never mind. I think Charlotte will win. I think
Charlotte's gonna keep the
Becky's
belt.
gonna drop the belt to Bianca.
You think
Sinclair.
that it would be? It's about time.
Well, she took it from her in SummerSlam. So
Right. I think, but Bianca's really good, and she.
nothing against her. Yeah,
I'm just saying she hasn't been given an opportunity. So
what's that, man? So
Roman has. I wanted to talk more about Brock being a heel. I didn't realize he was a babyface. I didn't realize he was this good. Like, he's a good in-ring performer, but his mic and his act.
all great wrestlers can play both sides. Triple H is a very good example. He's a very
When
good.
has he been a babyface?
Every time he's been in DX, not every time, but like the last couple times he was in DX, he was a babyface. Was
It's like a dickhead babyface.
yeah.
DX are assholes.
Okay. You act like you don't know me and that we're not friends.
I mean, yeah, but you're not
Break
a
it
wrestler.
down. So anyway, yeah, I think Brock's gonna.
But okay, well,
'cause
wait,
he's not-
hold on. I want to go back.
He's
I want
not
to go back.
scheduled. He's not. You know,
I'll go
he's
back.
not scheduled to be on Raw at all.
Until Mania? Or
Question
after
mark,
Mania?
Question mark. He's done with Raw. He's gonna be on SmackDown until WrestleMania.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. That's where his
So
feud
I
is.
saw something that is gonna make you sad. So normally, I don't know if you know how they do wrestling, but normally the WWE, what they do is the Raw after WrestleMania is normally crazy.
Yeah, it's the biggest. Yeah,
They cannot sell tickets. No one wants to buy them.
that's crazy.
No, like they've sold. They're at half capacity. And say normally by now they're sold
Of
out,
course they are. That's the biggest show of the year, not named WrestleMania.
and they're only sold half tickets.
So,
and WrestleMania is not being bought out like that either.
really?
People don't care. Bring back the Fiend.
I
Let me
think
keep my money. He's coming back.
next year, if it works out, they'll get their Roman Rock match, and that's what they wanted to do with this whole tribal chief thing. That's what they've been wanting.
He's busy.
I know. That's what he was supposed to. It was supposed to be this one.
Yeah,
But he had a movie come up, one of his many projects. Which is nothing
his
wrong
problem is his schedule's so damn booked out that everything has to line up perfect.
with it. And they were gonna do after he was fucking up his cousins. It was gonna be him and Brock at that next Raw. Sir. He'll look at you. You don't gotta yell at him. Goodness gracious. But I think that match sells. And also, let's go back to your you got to be able to play both sides of the coin here. We can fully admit that The Rock didn't take off till he was the heel, and he never went back.
But he was never really a heel though. Like he was, but like you still get the crowd was still like,
Yeah, because they loved it. Okay, Stone Cold's a heel, right? But he's in that gray area.
you know, he was. There was a few times when he teamed up with Triple H.
Sir, he doesn't talk like this very often, so
You're welcome.
doing something right.
Yeah, being me. Like bring it out of your dad too. It's fine. So listen, what I do.
All right, but look, I want to talk about. Let's talk about real sports. Okay, no, wrestling is real. It's just not. It's scripted. And
You just
here's
broke
a-
my
I have a-
11-year-old heart.
I have a question, right? So people will. Be, you watch WWE? That's fake, right? You know, Grey's Anatomy isn't real, right? Dummy. You know, Euphoria isn't real, dummy.
Okay, so because the outcome
Is
is
predetermined.
predetermined means the action in the ring is fake.
Right, that's the part. Now, granted, some of it,
Some of it
obviously,
is fake,
they're
sure.
not really hitting each other in the face with punches and shit. But have you?
Let me powerbomb you on
they're,
the mat.
They're rolling with the punches. They're stomping on the floor to make the hit sounds and stuff. But jump off the top rope and just take it. Just no, not you ain't gotta land on nobody. Just land on the canvas.
Let somebody jump off a top rope onto you, and you're supposed to catch them.
You ever seen a ladder match?
Hell in a Cell, bro.
Take a
Go tell me.
Hardy dive all through a ladder and tell me it's fake.
Go watch Mankind versus Undertaker.
He almost
Hell in
killed
a
that man.
Cell.
He literally broke all his legs.
Not only did he throw him off, he threw him through. And you go and tell him that this shit's fake.
That he still can't walk without a limp. That was 40 years ago.
My man's back doesn't work anymore.
Nope. Mr. Sacco had to catch the fall. Listen, I want to talk about maybe this stat doesn't mean anything, and maybe I'm reaching, but somebody looked up what players would average. How many players average 20 points per game without free throws? So they took all their free throw attempts out and then added in and saw what they would average per game. Maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe that's like a stupid thing, right? So it's season's average where a player averaged 20 points per game without free throws. And as you know, LeBron James is only good because he gets the whistle and gets to shoot a lot of free throws.
James Harden.
So you've got like Wilt Chamberlain did it 9 times, Kareem did it 9 times, MJ did it 11. KD's at 10, which is impressive. He doesn't get a lot of free throws though because he
doesn't really drive to the
right.
basket
He's a jump shooter and he's a damn good one. The mid range is always open.
Midi.
He's not playing in the post, so I'm not surprised that he's at 10 seasons of his, I think, 15 years playing or something like that. LeBron's at 18. How many years has he played in the NBA?
19.
Yeah. So the only year he didn't average 20 points per game without free throws is his rookie year. Every year since then, he's at least at 20 points per game without free throws. He's the best scorer of all time. Because Ben always likes to talk about the free throws. Well, the ref always blowing the whistle, and he just does this thing, and Ben throws the ball out. But I'm just saying, he's also only, if he keeps his career average of 27 points per game, he is 65 games behind the regular season all-time scoring. Which he'll do sometime next year, so all goes well.
So you owe me, fuck that, you owe me an apology.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
Why?
Because I told you.
What?
That he would play with his kid, and you were like, oh, shit.
I didn't see him playing this long, man.
Okay.
I really didn't.
Well, you're full of shit.
I'm sorry that I didn't.
So, we got what? 2 more years?
3. He's 17. So yes, 2 years, and that's if he gets drafted.
And that's if he goes, because he doesn't have to. He goes straight to the G League.
You can go to the G League. Yeah, you can at 18.
So here's my thing.
I think he's gonna do the college route though.
Yeah, he's gonna go 1 year. Here's
At
my thing.
Duke.
Oh no, not a good lot of did Zion.
It did Zion a lot. He got drafted number 1 overall, and
hasn't
hasn't
played since. Greg Oden 2.0.
Oh my god.
So put the gumbo down. Get on a treadmill. Actually, you know what? Eat the gumbo on a treadmill. That'd be more impressive, I think. So that year.
Which year?
The year that Bronny is coming out.
Right, LeBron James
is going to be the most disgusted and most tanked year of all time.
Maybe.
Nope.
Maybe.
For sure.
Maybe.
Because he literally said, I'm going to, and I don't care what
I heard what he said. I know
I'm
what he
making
said.
it happen.
But listen. Hear me out. Sir, can you not? You're never this vocal.
You're welcome.
So listen, I know you got opinions. Look, here's the thing.
He's upset.
LeBron, what's gonna happen is you can trade an obscene sum because, for example, you tank to get the number 1 pick, which you're gonna make Bronny so you can get LeBron, right? In theory, what you actually do is you tank to get the number 1 pick, and then the championship contenders, the Jazz or whoever, then trade everything to get the number 1 pick. They get Bronny and LeBron, and then they have a higher chance of winning the.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, definitely.
You're talking about like 40-year-old LeBron
is still going to be better than 80% of the NBA.
Sure, 40-year-old LeBron and his young son, who may or may not actually be a good basketball player at the pro level. You gave up everything to get him. No, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a New York Knicks move. And that is what's going to happen.
So here's the other thing, though. Because somebody made this really good point about Seth. Seth has never been the ball player that Steph or even his dad, I think.
I think Seth's better than his dad. Dell was just a sharpshooter. Seth he does stuff.
What are you looking at Charizard back there? Listen, but he was drafted by the Warriors and he was put in their G League and he was trained and he got NBA training, he got NBA experience early, and then when developed into a good player. I think that's what's gonna happen with Bronny. You get Bronny, you get Bron, and Bronny isn't gonna be some world beater, I don't think, right now. But I bet he can develop into a decent level starter like Seth did because he's gonna get the NBA training. So let's say if you draft and he's not NBA ready, that's fine. In 3 years, you have a productive starter.
Imagine either way, you're gonna have LeBron James there. Every game, so he wants to be an owner, right? Gonna be he already owns a team.
What team is that?
Cleveland. So,
he doesn't own Cleveland yet.
Yes, he does.
I mean, technically.
Look what happened when he left. Both times, yeah. So I think
they had Kyrie.
Okay. So what happens is a lot of good that they're doing in Brooklyn right now. So
he's playing tomorrow. He's playing tomorrow.
Is he?
Yeah, in Milwaukee.
So what I think it's a really good move for a subpar team because your tickets are going to say
your tickets go up. You're going to sell out every arena you're in, and that's going to be the farewell tour. So not only do you get LeBron James,
it's suck to see him go to like the Timberwolves or some shit,
or fucking the Wizards or Orlando or. Orlando wouldn't be bad for him personally because you can go live in Florida and that's not awful, but it sucks for us. Who wants to watch Orlando play? But
I think you're gonna see teams tank.
Maybe
Atlanta type tanking. Remember when for a while ago they literally were just
the process, dog. The 76ers.
They were just trash.
They got Joel Embiid though, so he's gonna be the MVP. Him and James Harden are about to win the title. So how does that make you feel? Really? How does that make you feel?
Nope, they're not. James Harden going to do what James Harden always does.
You hope.
Disappear in the playoffs. Just like DeRozan. I'm calling it now. Everyone's like,
when I shoot it, it goes in.
Okay. Yeah? Is that what's going to happen? Yeah. A lot of good that did him in Toronto. They had to trade him away to get a better version of him so that they could win a title.
We both know the reason why they won the title is because LeBron wasn't in the East.
That too. But I don't think that Toronto team doesn't win without...
You're right.
Or with DeRozan on it, because him and Kyle Lowry do the best Houdini impression of all time.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're good, buddy.
No, it's not just him, it's Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry definitely did his own thing. Now, he's in Miami now, right, Kyle Lowry?
Who cares?
People are talking really good about Miami. They've been mid. They're the 4 seed, but...
Not only that, but one of your best players is Tyler Hero, who is a 0.
Whoa, no. He's put together a much better rebound season. He looks like a lesser version of the guy we got in the bubble, which is what his peak was. The bubble was an outlier. He was never going to be that. However, the year after, where he played like dog shit all season, was also the outlier, I think. I think he... And people expected so much that when he was below average, like slightly below average, they were like, "Oh my God, he's awful." No, we told you he wasn't that good. What, bud? Look, hello, I am your lead. But you made me lose my train of thought about Tyler Hero and his bum ass. Listen, I think the Bucks are still gonna make it to the finals this year. They're doing what every great champion does and coasting that shit. Hey. You're not going to be able to sit in here if you're going to cry. They're coasting right now. They're doing enough to win games. Giannis is casually putting up 30, 15, and 8 or some shit.
The other night.
Yeah, he just does that shit. I don't think James Harden is going to push them over the top because Milwaukee's defense is enough to counter. And Giannis is going to have to buckle his fucking bootstraps to take out Embiid.
Now, remember when Embiid showed up and just didn't do anything in the playoffs?
No, he was sick against Toronto. The season, the one where Kawhi hit that shot. Yeah, I'm
sick of him.
He missed his games with a tummy ache.
I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of him too, but I think he's gonna win MVP.
How do you have a tummy ache?
If he wins the
Tum-tum?
if he stays healthy, he's gonna win the MVP. Excuse me.
That's Jokic.
Speaking of trades, what do you really think about that trade? Because Tony and I talked about it last week.
I am done with James Harden.
Nothing for him?
No. You got fat 2 times in 2 years in a row to get traded?
Yes. My question is...
It's the same thing. They say that's the same thing that Zion's doing right now. Colin Cowherd said that.
Yeah, he said Zion himself is tanking, which is an interesting take. I hadn't
heard that yet. If that was the case, bro, if you were really going to do that, what you should have done that year was go back to Duke and play again. or just take your name out of the draft and put it back in, or just go the Eli and
Say I'm not gonna play for you.
Elway route and say, yeah, trade me.
But the problem is that is an easy. That would have been the move. Say I'm not gonna play for you. But did you know the Knicks tried to trade everything, or no, the Pelicans tried to trade with
The Knicks.
the Memphis to get Ja. They were gonna trade because they had two more. They had two more. I think they had a first round pick, and I think they had another pick later, and they were gonna try to get Ja and Zion on the same team. I still want to see Zion go to the Knicks just so we can see. By the way, the Knicks traded for Cam Reddish, who we both think could be a decent young player in the NBA. He has averaged 3 minutes a game for the Knicks. They traded like a first round pick for him.
Why?
Because Tom Thibodeau doesn't like young players. He doesn't like playing, and so that's why that's why
RJ Barrett.
But Taj Gibson gets a lot of run. That's why his backup point guards are Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose.
Kemba shut down for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah, because the Knicks were like, all right, you're done. Why buy him out? Let him go play somewhere.
Kemba's been done for the last couple of years anyway.
Yeah, I think his best chance was that first year in with Boston. Yeah, but I mean, he's not a takeover guy. He's a decent point guard, but that's it.
He wasted his takeover time in Charlotte, bro.
True, and then they got LaMelo though. Remember when you were wrong about LaMelo? That's crazy.
You want to go there?
Yeah, we just
remember when you remember about Juju? Bro, me and this man argued for like 4 weeks about how he's Juju Smith's the number one receiver. No, he's not. It's easy to be a number one receiver when Antonio Brown's on the other side and they're handing the ball off to Le'Veon Bell.
Wow. First of all, you left out a lot of context. Listen, Juju was a number one receiver, and then TikTok was invented.
Don't do that.
And that's why he's bad.
No,
Yep, I'm doing it.
How does TikTok prevent him from getting open on the field?
Because he's too busy dancing. He's thinking about songs and shit.
Well, I hope TikTok you know what would do him a lot of favors?
What?
If Burfict got picked up again by Bengals and Bangies and caught him over the middle.
Listen, no.
Actually, that's not true. It did. I'm not saying that's what messed Antonio Brown up, but I know it didn't do his head any favors.
AB had his fair share of troubles though. Speaking of people having troubles, so I was watching a Joe Rogan podcast clip when he had Kanye on recently, like within the last year or so. I know Joe Rogan's a bad guy. Listen, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
He has too big of a platform to be spewing bullshit. It's America. People will believe. In America, there's a bag of peanuts and it says contains nuts. You have to put in America on bleach. Do not drink.
Listen, it might taste good.
No, it doesn't. It smells like bleach.
Anyway, and Kanye said
Joe Rogan's a trash person.
That's not true.
And he's not funny.
That's also not true.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's terrible. I watched his stand up. I wanted to gouge my ears out. It was not funny at all.
Dog. The one had me in tears. I was on the ground, dog. That motherfucker's funny as hell. Anyway. I mean, he's doing okay. He likes Corey.
I think the kid. I think her kid.
It would help
it off.
It would help me concentrate a little bit.
No, it wouldn't. We're just as discombobulated as always.
That's not true.
Come on.
Sometimes I have a plan. Today wasn't the day, but sometimes I do. Here, hold on. I'm gonna go drop the kid off. It's good to say bye, buddy. Bye.
So listen, I'm not to shit on Joe Rogan while you're gone. So Joe Rogan is not fun. The only thing I will give Joe Rogan for sure is his UFC. Listening to him talk about UFC fights is fantastic. Like it. Wow, he ruined that man's night. Should have just left him in here. He's upset. He had his co-hosting ability taken away. Anyway, so I think Joe Rogan pisses me off because he spreads misinformation. Whether or not you believe the vaccine works or does not work or whatever, it's not about that. It's about you have such a big platform to spread misinformation. It's a travesty. You're misusing your platform. And if you don't want to talk about it, or if you have personal beliefs one way or the other, that's fine. But you also have to take into account who listens to your stuff and who doesn't. That's why I don't like Joe Rogan. Because he just says what he wants to say with all these millions of people that just believe him regardless, and it's frustrating. Now, he's also a terrible comedian. However, I did like that when he called out Carlos Mencia for stealing jokes. A big fan of that. I love stand-up comedy, and the fact that Mencia was out here just stealing jokes is it's disrespectful to the art form in and of itself, especially for somebody that's a big fan of like George Carlin is throwing it way back, is one of my favorite comics. Robin Williams was fantastic. I'm not really a big fan of Jerry Seinfeld. His delivery got old after a while.
No, he's telling lies again.
I'm talking about Jerry Seinfeld. I just don't think his stand-up's funny.
I
love the show, but his stand-up is terrible.
I agree. I don't find his stand-up like overly very funny.
It doesn't fly anymore, I don't think.
It doesn't. It's not like when you watch the show and you get the highlights of his stand-up. I never found myself like really laughing at it. Yeah, like oh, that was kind of clever, and that's it. I do personally find Joe Rogan's stand-up very funny.
It's not.
It's fine. We have different ideas of funny. That's okay. You like Amy Schumer or whatever?
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's actually funny that you said that because I was literally saying I was talking about when Joe Rogan called out Carlos Mencia. Did you ever see that clip?
No.
It's aggressive. Which, by the way, it's even more funny when you know like Joe Rogan's like a black belt and you like can really whoop some ass.
Yeah.
And see him like standing up next to Carlos Mencia. Like it's hilarious because you're like Carlos is trying to act tough, but at the same time he's like, I'm not gonna say.
No, because Rogan will actually kick.
I'm not gonna say anything too aggressive because he's just gonna judo flip me up the stage and just beat the shit out of me on the table. But yeah, I did shit talk Joe Rogan later about. It's terrible.
That's not okay. I think part of
who is a good comic?
Who? You're gonna say someone's not funny.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
You're gonna say someone not funny. Don't do it. Listen,
Kevin Hart.
I will say
I loved Kevin Hart in the beginning.
Yes.
I can't stand him now.
Here's I still can watch it, but I definitely see it's not like I don't find myself laughing as hard. Early Kevin Hart was fantastic, and part of what got Kevin Hart for me ruined was everybody quoting that dude. Everybody.
It wasn't that to me. It was that he narrowed it down, like that, like the things that he would talk about. Yeah, I get it. You're sure, small, yeah. You're not. You can't fight.
Yeah, and but like for me, it was like, and maybe it was just because one specific person I don't like would always quote him, and maybe that drove it. You don't know, but maybe that would drive. Maybe that would drive them. Maybe that's what drove me to like not find him as funny. But Kevin Hart definitely I think dropped off, but he's still been very successful. He's still making movies. I'm not like shitting on the guy. He's not as good as he was when he first.
He's not as good as he once was.
Yeah. Those first, I think
Toby
3.
Keith. Speaking of Toby Keith, you're gonna go to see Garth Brooks in Notre Dame.
Maybe I did.
$98 a ticket. Can I be honest with you? That is cheap.
Yeah, he doesn't
for the Brookster.
I've seen him twice. I've seen him 3 times.
Can I call him?
I saw him in Chicago with my mom. I took Corinne to see him in Tennessee.
Let me find out you went by yourself.
No, with Corinne.
I'm saying it all.
She was there.
Karate chop.
And then I saw him when he performed at Notre Dame with my mom and brother, and I think my aunt and my grandma were there actually. And we were gonna. I don't know if we're all gonna go again this time.
Just you and your brother in a sea of estrogen.
Yeah, my wife couldn't. She was pregnant.
I have heard nothing but fantastic things about Garth Brooks in concert.
I haven't seen. I've never been to it. Oh, that's not true. I've never been to another live performance that can even be put in the same ballpark. Like I've been to a bar where like a live band was playing. I've been to stuff like of that level, but to see a performer, I can't imagine.
Contrastingly eyebrows?
Oh, because my eyebrows are batshit and his are normal? Yeah, that's true. Potential Peanut? That's an interesting name, friend. But
what about my rock impression?
Yeah, contracting eyebrows. You were saying that are you saying my eyebrows are very different from his? Or are you saying I have one? I have one eyebrow. There's a middle there. It's just not very big. I was born with unibrow. It's not my fault. But,
I am too if I let it grow out, but I am anal about shaving that thing.
You shave?
Right here.
Why don't you pluck like a man? Shaving makes it grow back faster, obviously.
No, it doesn't.
It's a fact.
That is not a fact.
It's a scientific.
No, it's
Do
not.
you know what
You don't believe in science.
Listen,
you told me downstairs.
I
before
don't
you
believe
came
in
up here.
science. Science is bullshit. Do you know?
That's why you're a Joe Rogan fan.
Jesus Christ.
Got him.
That's not true. Don't say shit. Don't, because people are gonna believe you. They're gonna think that's true. Listen.
Come on.
So my wife, the college graduate,
Who we've also
nurse.
established hates food. Go on.
She does hate food. She's a weirdo. Potential peanut left. Hey, listen. She
You just came in to make fun of her eyebrows.
came in, was like, oh, hey, wait, whoa, Sigma male.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but thank you.
That's the 49ers. I don't know what Sigma. I don't
wore
think
this
it's
to the
alpha. It's
game.
not alpha. But listen. So my wife said she would shave her legs and then wouldn't want to go get outside and get cold because if you get goosebumps, your hair grows back faster. That's not how. I'm like, no.
What are they
that?
teaching y'all in school out here? Oh,
Is that true? I don't know. I don't know any Sigma, Alpha, Beta, whatever. I'm also not in any. I would
this
never.
is a beta if I've ever seen one.
I will throw you out my window right now, bro. What are you talking about? But listen,
They just flexed over me as I'm bleeding. Who's a beta, bitch?
there's a balcony out there. You won't hit the ground.
No, you're gonna make me miss it.
No, I'll keep you safe. You can come right back in the back door. You'll be
I'm
fine.
not coming back in here after you throw me out the window.
But
I'm gonna climb down. I'm gonna sprain something, but I'm gonna climb down, bro.
No, but that's not the. I was like, what you're feeling is the goosebump, is the hair follicle. Yeah, but you're just feeling the shit you missed. It's not growing. It's not like I cold and it just grows more hair. It's not how it works.
Are you glad you're a man because you don't have to do any of that crap?
Yeah,
Bro,
definitely.
we have the ability. We can be so lazy. We can just let all this just grow out. I did it for like a year and a half.
You did. So, and my hair does it too. I'll be all shaggy and motherfucker.
I looked at pictures of it and I can't believe you let me walk around like that.
I
Like a
did.
shaggy,
Let you do it,
like a shaggy hobo.
Anyway, hey, let's talk more basketball real
Just
quick.
walking down the rails, and you just let me do it.
So anyway, there's a fun narrative that goes around where, like for example, if you ask somebody who's the GM of the Lakers, what do they say?
LeBron.
They say LeBron, right? Oh, LeBron comes in and runs the team. How about I have a question then? Right? If he runs the team, right? He gets what he wants, right? Because he wanted Russ, right?
Yeah.
And traded for Russ. Fine, okay. Do you know that in the offseason he wanted the Lakers to sign DeMar DeRozan, but they didn't want to pay for a third year because they didn't want to go into the luxury tax? So if LeBron
Tomorrow
runs,
I hate it. Tomorrow I hear it. Tomorrow I hate it.
it took you 2 tries. So I'm gonna let it go because if you would have said that was right on the first one, I would have had to hit you. Listen, because I didn't get it the first time, and then you said it anyway. But if LeBron's the GM, how come he didn't get DeMar? If LeBron's the GM and runs the team, how come he didn't get his coach? Because he wanted Ty Lue, but they didn't want to pay him the money.
You know why? Oh, who's he the coach of?
The Clippers.
Oh, That's
that
crazy.
has way more to do.
Oh,
That
way
has-
more to do. Overrated. Yeah, you know, it's crazy how successful he was when LeBron James was on the team. Oh my God.
First of all,
Bro, it's like people
the
going
Clippers.
out.
The Clippers are being.
Tyronn Lue is microscopically, like literally in just this little, right? If you stretch that out, Phil Jackson. Because literally you had Michael Jordan, 6 championships, Kobe Bryant, 5. You had 11. And it was, Phil Jackson's
had 12.
overrated. Was he won one when he was a player?
Yeah.
Did he even play? The towel boy? They gave him a fucking ring?
Listen, here's the fucking thing.
Filipino Jackson is trash.
You don't know shit. First of all, Ty Lue's a good coach.
Okay, so
First
good,
of all.
so great.
Second of all,
Who's the reason? So who's the reason why when they came back 3-1? Is it him? It's him. It wasn't the crazy
not
dope
gonna
ass
do this.
post game speech that LeBron gave. It wasn't because of him. It was because Tyronn Lue standing behind him quietly, not making a fucking peep. It's because of him.
see, that's how I know you don't know what you're talking
I tell you what,
about.
I tell
He
you-
runs plays.
Does he?
He has
Does he?
fucking defenses
Does he?
set up.
Does
yeah,
he?
definitely.
Does he just go,
Definitely.
hey LeBron, go do your thing, Bron?
No.
And he's like,
Do you know who does that? You know who does do that? Is Frank Vogel. I watched the game last night.
You know what? You know what would have happened? When Tyronn was like, hey, LeBron, he just goes, shut the fuck up talking to me.
No.
And then he starts
You
dribbling.
know who he said that to?
And he
David Blatt.
and then
When
he-
David
and
Blatt
then-
tried to call the shot against the Bulls 2015, fucking David Blatt called the play for Kyrie.
All right.
It might be 2014.
Can we talk about David Blatt? He
rough.
terrible.
So he calls the play for Kyrie. LeBron says, "No,
little bit
fuck
worse
that.
than
Give me the
Tyronn
ball."
Lue.
LeBron hits that baseline fader to beat the Bulls, go up 2-1. Now listen, Ty Lue's a good coach.
No.
This year, without Paul George for most of the season, without Kawhi all season, his roster's been just as injured as the Lakers roster and just as injured as the fucking Nets roster. He's got them in the playoffs and playing well.
Okay. They're not gonna do anything. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're not gonna do anything because they're gonna play the fucking Suns round one.
The,
Wow,
the
that's
Lakers aren't in. Why do I give a shit?
the Lakers are gonna be in.
Okay, then why do I give a shit about how good the Clippers are?
But the Lakers are going to be in. The Lakers are going to beat the Warriors in round one.
No,
they're going to
they're
get Warriors because they're going to go up to the 6th seed. After what I saw last night, I'm not going to lie to you. My hopes are dashed.
The Lakers aren't making the playoffs.
They will make them. They'll make the play.
No,
They will.
no, they won't.
They will.
Not with LeBum and fucking and
A Disney.
A disabled
All done.
and
West Brick. Listen, here's the thing. I watched that game last night. LeBron was awful towards the end of the game, and you don't usually see that. He had 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. I think he had 2 points. He was bad. He was really bad. Now, the last possession, I will say he had a chance.
he airballed that fucking face.
No, not that. Because then if it goes in, he's a miracle worker.
He's
if
a
you miss,
fucking god if that
whatever.
goes in.
But what the problem was with the play before that, there was 13 seconds left on the clock. He took like 8 before he decided what to do, and I think what he was waiting for was because they had Terrence Mann on him, I think. And he wanted to see if the Clippers were going to keep that matchup so he could decide to pass out. And what ended up happening was they triple-teamed LeBron. He passed it to Melo with about 9 seconds left. And Melo hesitated on the shot. So the way the defense rotates, right, you got 3. So I'm going to show you. You guys have to just listen, right? So LeBron is out here at the top of the key on this side. They was the little white kid. Reeves runs this side. So Reeves' man runs up, and then they had Melo's man run over. So there's 3 guys on LeBron. He passes it to Melo. Then you've got the bottom guy rotates, and then this defender is sitting in the middle. So Carmelo hesitates, but he's got Russ kind of open in the paint, and then he's got
No, you don't.
and he's got THT on the corner.
No, you don't.
And he kind of hesitated and put up an awful shot, an air ball.
Yeah, you know why? Because what's Russell Westbrook gonna do?
The problem
Hit
is
the rim from underneath it?
Russ. I think did they need 3?
Why was he on the floor?
Yeah,
then?
3 to tie.
Why was he on the floor then? Was it a distraction?
Anyway,
stop the presses. Anthony Davis is hurt.
okay, but did you see what happened?
I don't give a shit. It'd be one thing if this was a one-time. Bro, Buddy gets hurt like 3 times a year. And it's always did you see it?
No.
Because he's got like negative muscle. He doesn't work out in the offseason. Does he?
Look
He's
at
like,
him
what is
now.
he, like 10 pounds heavier than when he came in the
No,
league?
he's huge.
Yeah, it's all because his fucking unibrow keeps getting thicker, bro. Don't wear that shit. Get your trash ass off my team, bro. You are garbage.
Wow, he brought a title, man.
Did he?
Yes.
In the bubble.
Paul George said he couldn't sleep for 2 weeks, so clearly the bubble was hard. Paul George couldn't sleep in a 5-star hotel with every amenity given to you, and the only thing they had to do was play basketball.
And they were still sneaking women in.
It was too stressful. That only happened to the fucking guy that Skip said that was going to help the Rockets beat the Lakers or something. What was it? Daniel House, who doesn't play in the NBA anymore, by the way.
You know why? Because he's bringing down the house. Oh!
Your DeRozan, the more I hate it, the more I hear it thing is worse.
I can't take credit for that, by the way. That was Drake. They did that on Saturday Night Live.
You watch Saturday Night Live?
No, but I saw that clip because Will Ferrell.
You listen to Drake?
Yeah, because Will Ferrell, I used to. Will Ferrell and Drake were like
Will Ferrell, not that funny.
better than fucking Joe Rogan.
No.
Absolutely.
Step Brothers was mildly entertaining.
Okay. Talladega Nights?
The only scene I laughed at was when he stabbed himself in the leg.
Bro.
That shit was hilarious. The rest of that movie is ass.
Yeah,
Did you watch the fucking Governor? What's the movie called? The Senator when he ran with Zach Galifianakis.
When he punches that baby in the face.
That movie is fucking terrible.
Hey, he said you be a father to my son? I'd fuck your wife. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Not really. It wasn't that great of a movie.
The movie was
It's called
What's
the Campaign.
Campaign. The movie was shit.
It was not great, but when old girl asked him to put her head in the freezer when they were having sex,
I did chuckle at that shit. That shit was kind of funny. The worst movie ever is Brick Mansions. That movie is god awful.
Why? Why is it bad? Who's the star of that movie? I don't remember. Who's
Paul Walker.
Oh,
But that's not why it was bad.
What's he play?
No, a cop.
Dog, come on.
Not only does he play a cop, he plays a cop who has to infiltrate the bad guys.
Fucking awful.
No. Let me tell you how bad the movie is. You hate Paul Walker as an actor, you think he's shit. Paul Walker's not that bad as an actor.
Okay, besides Fast and the Furious, what was he good at?
We're talking about
and he's not even good Fast and the
We're
Furious.
talking about Brick Mansions. He's the best actor in the movie. By a factor of 5. The acting, terrible. The story makes no fucking sense. The worst part of the whole movie is the fucking bad guy, right? He's a chef.
Yeah.
His thing is that he likes to cook. And he cooks in this fucking room. So there's a dome, there's a light, and he's got his fucking one fucking island kitchen. That's what he cooks on. He's cooking. The fucking Paul Walker and his friend show up, and he goes, he's talking about how they're infiltrating or whatever. He's like, so you're the sheriff to Paul Walker, and you're the deputy to the guy who's helping him. And anyway, and then they leave, and they steal that guy's Mustang and drive it through the city.
Okay, is that the one he crashed when he died?
It was a Porsche, dickhead.
Oh.
First off.
Maybe you shouldn't speed like an asshole.
He wasn't driving.
So? You could have told your friend to slow the fuck down?
Have you ever gone 130 in a Porsche? You really don't want to slow down. Anyway.
Well,
So they
deserve
steal.
to wrap your fucking shit around the fucking pole.
That's not okay. You gotta not say that. Anyway, so this dude, the guy whose Mustang I sold, the main bad guy, his people, his little lackeys come back and they say, "Hey, boss, they stole your car." And he's like,
can I guess real quick? Does he say something about, I guess I'm gonna have to kill the sheriff and the deputy?
Yes, but here's how the shot goes. He's cutting onions or some shit. And there's the whole conversation, they're slow zooming on him, okay? And it doesn't stop. They're slow zooming the whole time. Zoom, zoom. And as it is zooming in, right? And he looks up while he's zoom, zoom, zoom. Now I have to shoot the sheriff and the deputy. And it cuts that. It goes to the next scene. I paused the movie and I literally debated turning it back on. I was like, I don't know if I have the strength.
So listen.
That's the worst.
Listen.
It was terrible.
They paid that man to do that.
Dog, and
it's pretty probably
I
a pretty
want
good
to
amount.
give him credit for getting through it because
you get it. Here's the problem, and it's the same thing. If you to a way more extreme extent, it's the same thing as the Star Wars prequels. It's not their fault the dialogue was trash.
that's fair. But this guy,
But Ewan McGregor spun shit out of
he
gold out of shit.
He would laugh. He's like,
Bro, they killed the young.
he's laughing. That show comes out March 25th, by the way. Listen, here's the thing.
My brother's birthday.
Here's the thing.
Can I talk about that real quick?
So other movies. I'm gonna backtrack. The Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie Chapter 0 that comes out March 18th. I bought you a ticket. If you have time and are available, you can come. If not,
That's going to be after me and Mo hang out and we send you pictures of us hanging out together while you sit here and Christ.
that's a really
Christerbate. That's my new thing. I throw that out all the time.
that doesn't make any damn
What?
sense.
You cry while you masturbate. You use the tears as lubricant
But why would I be doing that?
because you're not.
I don't like either of you that much. First of all.
He's so full of shit. He's so full
Dog,
of shit.
you know how easy it goes to do delete.
He's so full of shit.
Anyway, hey, let's talk more about
He
LeBron
cried
running.
last night because he was nervous I wasn't coming over. He doesn't know this, but his wife took a picture and sent it to me.
Why you telling me so many lies? You made that up so fast.
What were we talking about downstairs?
We're talking about Mike. Made that shit up so fast. Listen, the other thing I want to talk about LeBron is there was a tweet, and it actually went a little viral. Is because this dude was like, the Lakers fans are finally seeing that LeBron's just a cancer. He comes in, trades away all the future, all the young draft picks, all your young players, and gets the superstars he wants, runs the team into the ground, and he leaves.
He did that the first time in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Because from what I remember, they were trying to bring in all kinds of help, but they weren't trading anybody. They were like bringing in...
Also, think about this.
Remember when they brought in a million-year-old Shaq? And
Remember
like,
when
Here we go.
check this out? You know who they brought in right next to Shaq? Antoine Jameson, who was just only like 2 months younger than Shaq at that point.
Well, they were born at the same hospital.
Fucking Antoine Jameson was also mid to begin with. They brought in 85-year-old Caron Butler at one point. Carlos Boozer's old ass made a stop there. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about the first round of Cleveland. What he left out was
In Miami? He left Miami asunder?
by him leaving, he left Miami.
No, he didn't.
But also, listen, what he skipped over was LeBron won a championship every time he did that. Went to Miami.
He did
Oh,
what
you
he
trade
came-
out the
He did what he came to do.
Exactly. So also in Miami, he wasn't allowed to do shit. That's Pat Riley's team. Pat Riley did whatever the fuck Pat Riley wanted because LeBron
that
wanted.
mentality flies in Cleveland, where literally LeBron is king, and whatever he says goes.
Right.
Get me help, you get me help.
And that's it.
That's for sure.
Right.
LA and fucking Miami are not LeBron James's team. You cannot go to the Lakers, the historically great Lakers, and be like, it's my team now. They're like, okay.
Also, here's the other thing that's crazy.
Rob Pelinka will spit in your Cheerios.
Like
when LeBron's not looking.
First of all, anytime LeBron was given power, he's won the championship. Now, he said he won Anthony Davis. But I think the reason the Lakers were more gung-ho to do it is because they were desperate.
No, and that young core wasn't doing anything.
And, people talk,
you don't get LeBron James for you don't get LeBron James for the future. You get him for right now.
Right, you go to win. And somebody tweeted, they said Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, KCP, and like Brandon Ingram all scored over 20 points tonight. That's dope. They weren't doing that with the Lakers, and that's the problem. Now, granted, I will give Montrezl Harrell a break.
Ingram took forever to develop.
Yeah,
and he's
the only thing he does now is shoot, and even then, only like
Kuzma,
pretty well.
I don't want to hear about Kuzma, bro.
No, and also people talk, Kuzma. And first of all, the reason he's doing well in Washington is twofold: one, negative expectations; two, Bradley Beal only plays away games, just like Kyrie Irving. So half the time he gets to run around doing whatever the fuck he wants. When in a structured system, when the expectation is championship, he cracked, man. He cracked, and that's fine. KCP had his chances, had multiple opportunities, and he squandered them away. He literally could have won the championship a game earlier. He'd go down in history as hitting a game-winning final shot to win to end the series. Well, the last time that was done was Jordan.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Give me that shot. I bet I hit it.
Dog, nobody within 20 feet of you brick that shit and LeBron gets shit on.
All I'm saying is, like, you expect that in, like, a pickup game. But, like, from an NBA player, bro, like...
Dog, it was a practice shot. Anyway, my whole point is this. LeBron's not... I mean, sure, he's hard to play for, but Jordan was hard to play for. And if LeBron's hard to play for, the worst thing that happens to you is you get traded, not punched in your fucking mouth.
If he's hard to play for, then what was Jordan and Kobe then? Because there's clips of Kobe Bryant literally... Go ask Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin still has nightmares about Kobe cussing his ass out.
And go ask Steve Kerr about Michael Jordan.
Fuck yeah.
With his jaw staying...
To be fair, he punched him in his chest. Also, you're so tough, Jordan. You picked on the fucking 5'8" white dude.
All I'm saying is, where was that attitude with Dennis Rodman? When he was just...
in Vegas.
Philandering about
Jordan
Vegas.
had to rein him in and kept him under control for those 3 years.
So
he was literally filming WrestleMania during the finals.
Bro, at WCW, was it Bash at the Beach or Beach Bash?
I just know he wore a dress and married himself.
All I know is Scottie
had
Pippen didn't want Dennis Rodman, and they won a 3-peat together. So that's what we need to talk about. Dennis Rodman. I don't know. I felt like that was going somewhere.
I felt like you were crescendoing him, and you just fucking hit the ceiling, bud.
Dennis Rodman was more key to that last 3-peat than Scottie Pippen.
Yes. Do you know why? Because then Jordan not only didn't have to guard the second best player, he had to guard the third best player on the opposing team. And teams in the NBA didn't have 3 good players back then.
That is what's crazy about that Bulls team. Is Michael Jordan, who is arguably one of the greatest defenders of all time.
Perimeter.
Didn't have to guard the 2 best players on the team because Dennis Rodman was out here grabbing asses and Scottie Pippen was out here Dumbo-earing it up. Scottie Pippen is an unfortunate looking man. Can we talk about this real quick? Bro, looks like the Easter Island heads came up out of the ground.
Speaking of the island, you heard the Island Boys?
Island Boys.
They have so much money.
I've never wanted to fight somebody I've never met more.
Do you know? There's one other person I want to fight on site as much as I want to fight the other. It's fucking Riff Raff. I hate Riff Raff with a passion so fierce. Dog, I can't stand Riff Raff.
I got one, but I can't think of it.
Oh.
But Riff Raff is up there. Bro,
Riff-
I swear to fucking God, it's on site. If me and you are ever somewhere, if we're ever in the state of Texas and we run into Riff Raff,
It's over, dog. I'm going to
the
jail.
only thing you're gonna hear me say is, fuck, I'm gonna shit.
You better get
slow the fuck down. I want to hit him too.
Gotta grab real quick because I'm fucking Jackie Chan flying me into the side. Dog, I hate Riff Raff. I was at Rabbi was like, he asked me, he was like, so if you saw Riff Raff on the street, what would you do? And I said, Rabbi, I would hit him with a bat. I would tie him to the car. I would drive up the Pacific Coast Highway with him on the back and drag him behind the car. I would drift that bitch until he slung off and flew into the ocean and was eaten by sharks.
But he had been dead since you strung him.
The whole the whole coast, dog. All 8 hours up that California coast, dog. I'm drifting that bitch until he goes into the ocean and gets eaten by like algae or some shit. I hate Riff Raff, dog. I hate him.
Island boy.
And then right behind him, dog, and not dog. So I know you don't like Logan Paul. That's fine.
No, he's all right.
The only thing the growth and
like I said, my biggest thing about him is I hope it's real.
Exactly, and I don't want to discuss all that, but the Island Boys were on the podcast, and
please tell me he just eviscerated them.
He was gonna. We'll get there. So they were talking about money, obviously, because that's what they think is important. And they were talking about how much money they got, and they got out the mud, and blah, blah, blah. And one of his friends, George Janko, I don't know, I don't watch any of his stuff. I know nothing about the guy other than what I know from the podcast. He's trying to be a comedian. He's very faithful. He's Christian.
I would say faithful as in
a Christian. He's super positive. He's super nice. He's genuinely seems like a really good guy. And he was like, hey, you guys got all this money, maybe you could work on investing it. You know, you've got your jewelry and stuff, maybe you could work on investing it, because God forbid if something happens to you and you can't perform, or, you know, this goes away, then you have an investment and you're set for the rest of your life. They got so mad, literally so mad, they were trying to fight him on set, on the podcast. They were standing up like, how dare you don't talk to me about money, I make more money than you, which they don't. They were like, how dare you tell us what to do with our shit and blah, blah, blah.
They didn't, he just made a suggestion.
Right. And they got so mad. Logan literally was like, all right, cut it. Get out. Like, go. We're not going to do this here. He made him leave. And now listen.
Logan,
they're
Logan
small.
Is a professionally trained boxer. So.
And he's big. He's like 6'2", 6'3",
so
stacked.
So you go across the stage trying to get one of his other guests.
Not his other. That's his best friend that he's known.
Oh, okay. So he's going to piece you the fuck
Dog,
up before you.
For way back.
Both of you are going to get hit with like 8 jabs.
When Logan first went out to California, whatever year that was, I didn't follow his whole career. George was like the third person he met, and he's been best friends with George for the long time. So he wasn't just talking shit to a guest; he was talking shit to one of Logan's best friends in the world.
And not only that, but like,
and you were being completely assholes about it.
What are you saying?
It doesn't make any
sense. How
sense.
dare you give me financial
Which
advice?
is why,
bro,
fuck the Island Boys.
If somebody who's already pretty much made it, like they've got good money, is giving me advice. If Warren Buffett,
right, you're like
sat down at a diner, not even at your table, just was like another table over here, and he overheard you talking about your finances, and he's like, "Hey, you want some advice?" I'm like, "Can you give me a minute? I'm gonna get my phone out and I'm gonna record you saying it
right here,
so that when you're done, I don't ever try to remember all the genius you just said."
Exactly. I don't know why they're so shitty.
He wasn't even telling like what. Like it was not like he's like, "Hey, give me your money and I'll invest it,"
right.
or "You should invest in me." He was like, "Look, take your money and invest it," and they're like, "How dare you?"
Yeah,
and just tears.
They got so
Island boy.
And not only that, their voices make me angry. The look of them I want to pull their hair off, their little hair tufts off, and hit them with the fucking hair pieces. Just like, here's another one.
See, this is what the problem with the generation underneath this is.
The Island Boys.
I will fully take credit for Soulja Boy. I will. We were cranking dad.
We definitely cranked.
However,
cranked the shit out of that.
Mm-hmm. Y'all with your Tekashi 6ix9ines and your Island Boy and Lil
Pump.
Lil Pump.
Lil Pump is a fucking rap name, dog. Lil Pump. Okay. What are you trying to say?
First of all, so remind me to tell you about what I was saying at work the other day.
About Lil Pump?
About Lils and all that.
Mm.
So there's so many famous people that don't deserve to be famous. Looking at you, Snooki.
From fucking T-shirt
Jersey
time.
Shore?
What's a Jersey Shore?
T-shirt time.
I
Okay.
never watched an episode of Jersey Shore, so don't ask.
I watched like the first season, bro. I did.
I actually think less of you.
You should. Well, I first of all, number one, how could your opinion of me get any lower?
I got bad news for you. I actually had it pretty
Talking
high,
about-
so it's coming down. But
it's
right now you're right.
most
Right now
people-
you're sitting right next to Tsunade. Right now is where you're at because
No,
you
most
were
people-
when I first met you. You were up here with
you know how
Charizard.
most people get it out the mud. I'm getting in the mud.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're working your way down. Pretty soon you're gonna be down at the empty shelf.
Yeah,
You guys can't see the empty shelf.
I watched like the first season.
But we all have shows that we liked that we don't tell anybody about.
I didn't like it. I just was like 16, and the two girls on there were fucking smoking hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, these guys are making shit tons of money just T-shirt time.
Yeah, that was the thing. Then
DJ
what is
Pauly
T-shirt
D.
time? With his hair, dude. You know how many times I got called Pauly D? Because my hair does this shit when it's cut.
No, but his shit was like this with the
Now,
the
which one
sprays.
is the situation?
Mike, bro. So the funny thing about that show, all right, since you brought it up, so first thing
I did not.
Okay, well, anyway, the funny thing about that show is like all of them were like early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
The situation, like early 30s, just hanging out
That's weird.
at the shore with a bunch of 20-somethings.
Was it like a reality show? What is
Yeah,
this?
it's like Real World or
I don't
One of
watch
them MTV
MTV. I don't
bullshitteries.
watch MTV.
one of them MTV bullshitteries.
Did you ever see the one with what was it? I don't remember the name of the show. I'm gonna describe it to you, and you're gonna remember. Here you go. Girl has shitty boyfriend. Mom and dad, or mom and best friend, or somebody don't like boyfriend, so they pick three. They interview a bunch of dudes and pick three dudes to date.
Yep.
Take the daughter on one
Yep.
date, and she gets to pick at the end.
Yep. Or she gets to pick between the three
Or stay with her boyfriend. Yeah. First of all, I'm fighting.
No, fuck that. Fuck that. The greatest show of all time was Next. If you didn't watch Next, bro, so it was literally, it would be like a dude or a chick, and then the opposing or the opposite gender would be on the bus. And then like they would come out.
I don't know this one.
Bro, so like sorry, say it was you, right?
Rise me.
And it's 5 bitches.
Yeah.
On the bus.
On the bus.
And you've played
Can I say bus, though?
Right. You can say whatever you want. They're coming to you.
Okay.
You or the show have played out this whole date that for you, right?
Okay.
And then these bitches would come off, and at any time you'd be like, next. Bro, when I tell you the greatest moment of that show was when a motherfucker would come off that bus and
Hit him with the
next. It's because then they got to go back on the bus with all the other motherfuckers already up there.
Can you imagine your first girl off the bus?
See, I laugh, but that...
Okay, that actually sounds dope. I want to see if I can find an episode of that now. The real best show that genre had, Bully Beatdown.
That was with that former UFC fighter, or the current UFC fighter?
No, former. He's batshit. Mac.
I know you're talking about.
Mac Miller.
He was
Not
on,
Mac Miller.
He was on a season of Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Crazy ass.
Mayhem is his name. Was his nickname, but he brought the mayhem. That show was awesome because they would literally get these bullies who thought they were badasses and literally put them in the ring with UFC fighters.
Here's my thing though. They already did that. It's called when they took the kids to prison.
Sir? A fear?
Come on, guys.
Scared
Scared Straight. There you
But
go.
no. Scared Straight came out after Bully Beatdown.
No, I think it came out before.
No, I don't think it did, bud. Scared Straight is
Maybe
also
it was,
extra mid. I did the only
Did you
time
ever see the one where the white kid, like the nerdy white kid, got all ballsy, bro?
No.
They were like talking about so the door like it's like kid with like 14-year-old kid with like glasses. It's like didn't look like he belonged there.
Yeah.
Like it felt like he kept a library book too long. Like that's what it looked like. But
Right.
I guess he was like into some real shit, bro. So they opened it, they cracked the door open, and the guy comes out and he's being all scared. He's like, "Hey, you want to fucking come in here? What's stopping you from coming here?" And the little kid goes, "Because the door's not open all the way."
Okay, sir.
14-year-old kid's out like, you know what? Close the shit.
I did see a clip though. I only saw the GIF version, but I guess
Probably used for saying GIF and not GIF. Cause
it has a peanut butter.
Thank you.
The fucking kid is apparently mouthing off to one of the security guards, and let's assume a regular 14 to 15-year-old kid into some shit. Probably weighs like 120 pounds, right? This dude grabs him, picks his ass up off the ground, both feet, and pushes him against the wall. I said, Jesus Christ. You will never catch me doing anything bad ever again. If a grown man, if my feet kick...
I wouldn't even...
If my feet do this, dog, I'm out.
I wouldn't even cross the street. And in a crosswalk, bro, I'm telling you, when I'm sitting there watching for the little man to come white, just...
He's going to do what?
Come. It goes from the red to the white guy.
He's gonna come white?
Yeah, turn white. Come white, whatever. He comes white. It's fine.
He doesn't.
$20. Anyway, so...
Anyway, we got off on a weird... Let's see if I can reel it back in here. So, here's the thing. Skip and Shannon were doing their usual thing when LeBron James plays basketball, that he's the GOAT, who's the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. Skip literally... It came out of his mouth. He said, at the end of the day, free throw shooting is why Michael Jordan is the GOAT over LeBron James.
Why?
Because...
So now you're running out of things.
That's what I said. Bro, so LeBron does everything better. Maybe not individual defense, but team defense, LeBron's better. Individual defense, Jordan's better. He scores, he rebounds, he assists, he play makes, he
shoots better.
Threes, he shoots better from the field, he shoots better from the mid-range, his efficiency's better. All his playoff numbers are better.
Refs.
But his free throws aren't better, so he's disqualified because of his free throws.
Did you see Skip when they came out with the top 75?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. It's on the list.
LeBron being as low as he is on there isn't even my issue.
No, we got issues. His list is awful.
But where he's got him, I'm saying, I have issues before I even get to him.
You can't even. It's bad. Second, he said he went on the list. LeBron has missed 16 clutch free throws with the score between 2 points with blah 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 seconds left on the clock. He's missed 16. The next closest is J.R. Smith with 8. That's just terrible. He doesn't talk about that. Not only has LeBron missed the most, he's made the most and taken the most.
Yeah, but it's easier if you take a third of them out.
Then he was like, he's missed 102 clutch shots, as in mid-range, as in shots, layups. He's missed 102. Doesn't talk about how not only has made the most, but he's also taken the most of those. Well, he's missed 47 threes. But again, he's taken the most. So yeah, he's gonna miss the most. I just don't like the fact that, yes, let's say he's missed the most free throws, but he's also taken and made the most.
No, it's literally taking a narrative and
you just kind of twist it so that it looks, he's terrible in the clutch. But literally, also, Skip does this thing, right? So like in the game against Utah last week when the clutch free throw thing happened, LeBron had 15 points in the quarter. They were down by like 10. So he had 15 points in the quarter, but the last minute, he passes the ball to Austin Reeves, who hits a 3. Then Russ takes and makes the free throws at the end, giving the Lakers the win. LeBron didn't, so he wasn't the best player of the game.
Closer. Austin Reeves.
So if you take LeBron's 15 points out, they lose by 10. Like, I don't understand. And he has to keep breaking it down smaller and smaller because the macro doesn't suit his narrative. And he was is that conversation on here too? I looked it up. In finals games, which is the biggest stage, LeBron James, with the score within 5 in the last 5 minutes, LeBron James shoots 80% from the line, which is 7 points above his career average or whatever.
4 out of 5.
So, I mean...
Which, let's be honest, can we be honest? Like, I know that people like to think about it. Well, they should be shooting. Like, 4 out of 5, bro. That's impressive. I challenge somebody.
Also, realistically, LeBron's 74% is still 6 out of 9. Which sounds low. Like, if you say 74%, you're like, God, that's not good.
3 out of 4, though.
That's not that bad. Like, 3 out of 4 is 70. When you say 75%, you're like, wow, he's not shooting that good.
The way you look at it is a lot of the times it's like they miss the first one, make the second one.
But we also have to agree. That's still his biggest weakness. We both fully recognize he's not the greatest at it, and if you're gonna pick, that is a spot to pick.
Shit, but at least like look at, he's not as bad as like Shaq,
who he has third.
And Shaq literally got to the point where
But Shaq's a center.
They eliminated him in crucial situations because send him the free throw line.
But you know what Skip would say to that? He would say, one, Shaq's a center, and he would say, two, Shaq was never in consideration for being the GOAT. The reason he holds it so hard against LeBron is because LeBron supposedly, other people call him the GOAT, so he has to point out these flaws of his that make him not.
Who are these people? Who?
Lots of people. Shannon, you, me, there's 3 right there.
But he makes it sound like he's like...
He refers to them as the billions of blind witnesses. Because LeBron had the slogan witness when he was first coming into the league, and he calls them his blind witnesses because they see no wrong in LeBron James, allegedly. This made-up thing that Skip talks about.
Okay. You're probably the most diehard LeBron fan I know.
I'm the most diehard LeBron fan I know.
You're also level-headed about
But see, and not just that, I
have met someone who is a blind...
Is it Ben?
No. Is a blind...
LeBron James fan?
LeBron James fan. And I couldn't fucking stand him.
No, see, I like...
If that's what you're talking about, then yeah.
Yeah.
But every player...
Has that
guy.
Yes. Some Kobe fans we got to talk about because some of them are getting a little crazy. Now, my point is this. When my mom taught me about sports and talked to me while we were watching games or whatever, it was very rational stuff. And so I like to think that I got a good base, and then I like to... Yes, LeBron's my favorite. When he loses, I'm sad. When he wins, I'm elated. However, I can also see that, like last night, he was shit the last few minutes of that game. There no way around it.
I think you're not a true fan if you can't admit when they're trash.
Your teams are trashy, like my Bears.
Literally, fucking the finals against the Clippers or the Celtics, when literally Ron Artest fucking won us the series. The whole time, the whole Game 7 I was watching, I was like, I swear to fucking God, if we made it to Game 7 and Kobe literally, it cost us this, because he was costing us that game because he wouldn't stop. And I get it, like that's your thing, bro, but like not in Game 7.
And I love Kobe. Kobe's awesome. He's inspirational. He was a fucking amazing player. And for our viewer, Potential Peanut, you might not have ever heard me say this before. The reason Kobe isn't rated higher all time is because his career overlapped with Jordan. We went from Jordan to someone who was almost Jordan, and because he wasn't, I feel like he gets knocked all time for that. If Kobe had the exact same career 15 years later, he's second all time. But because he was
too close,
right? Because
we've talked about this on here several times,
right? But when people go back and think about Kobe, they're like, oh, Kobe and Mike were so close, and he gets dinged harder because he was trying to be Mike. If you had someone who was almost Michael Jordan 30 years after Michael Jordan, that guy's gonna get the credit more.
Well, even if you say, look, if you take Jordan and you bump his career back 10 years,
right,
and then Kobe could start at the same time.
Right.
But if Jordan retires early 90s,
or because some people like to say that he would, Skip said he considered Jordan the GOAT before he ever won a title, which doesn't make any goddamn sense.
But anyway, you'll be the first one to preach 6-0, right?
Also, if a Jordan fanatic says, well, he's 6-0 in the finals, so he's the best, okay, but he doesn't have the most finals wins. That's Bill Russell. And did Bill Russell lose the finals? Did he lose 1 or 2?
I don't know.
He's okay, so that makes him 11 and something. That's better than 6-0. I don't care if you didn't lose, because you can go, oh, I went 4-0 in finals, okay, but
Robert Horry has 7 rings.
Did he lose the finals?
7-0.
No, because he was on the Spurs team.
He was a part of the Lakers team that lost to the Pistons.
Yeah. One of the worst losses in finals history, by the way, that nobody talks about ever.
And old ass Karl Malone and old ass Gary Payton.
Yeah, but Gary Payton's job is a little easier.
Gary Bear Payton? Can you call him that?
You probably can't. I'm sure someone probably does. But anyway,
somebody out there calling him Gary Bear?
Dog, somebody's definitely calling that man Gary Bear.
It's his older sister, right? That calls him Gary Bear.
Yeah. Also, so the other thing that people love to talk about is, well,
Michael Jordan never had a loss like LeBron's 2011 finals. He never choked. In 89, that would be 2 years before his first championship, he was, in fact, up 2-0 on the Bad Boy Pistons. 2-1 on the Bad Boy Pistons, and lost that series in 6 games. It means he didn't win another game, and he went 0-3 as the best player in the world. Nobody talks about that. Tragic Johnson, that only gets brought up when you talk about how Magic's 3rd all-time or 4th all-time. Is because he had one mistake with the timeout or whatever bullshit. And then he went on to win 5 finals after that, and y'all forget that shit. In 97, he won the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks. He shot 37% for the series, and they won. Give me a series at any point in LeBron's career, wins and losses, where he could shoot 37% and win. None. The answer is none.
That one time that he played the one game?
No. Because
what if when he played the one time against the Harlem
the
Globetrotters?
only team he could have beaten shooting 37% is the Wizards team from 07. Because they were dog shit, and they were calling LeBron. They were like, hey, or it might have been 06. The Wizards team was there with Deshaun Stevenson. How about a name? Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jameson, Caron Butler. That was a squad. Gilby Arenas. He left his guns in the locker room. Didn't bring him to the court.
You know what? If I called that man Gare Bear, you can call him Gilby.
All right, bet. And I think that might be the only team, and even then, I don't think so.
It depends on what Gilbert shows up.
Well, and to be fair,
at one point in time was shooting the freaking lights out.
Maybe Jordan was really good defensively that series, and it made up for him shooting poorly. But the fact of the matter is, it was a very poor performance that his team won. You'll see the graphic. Jordan goes fucking 9 of 30, scores 20 points, but gets the win. Nobody wants to talk about the
9 for 30.
The efficient. Now, granted, I looked it up. His efficiency for his career is still like right at 50. If it's not 50%, it's like 51%. On that kind of volume, incredible. He should definitely get credit for being one of the greatest scorers of all time. However, that doesn't make him the greatest scorer of all time, because technically that's Kareem currently, and that will be LeBron by the time he retires. But Jordan didn't play as long. Why? Well, he retired. Why though? Twice. Anyway,
3 times.
3, yes, but I meant in his career.
He retired 3 times.
No. Middle of the Bulls, again with the Wizards.
No.
Oh, at the end of the 3-peat.
Bulls, Wizards.
Bulls, Wizards.
But nobody but that's the thing. That's the thing that pisses me off about Jordan fans, is they want to focus on the six championships, which is granted. That is the chunk of his career that most people remember. And arguably one of the most dominant stretches anyone's ever had in sports.
By far, definitely.
But he had years before, and he had 2 years after. That's what I need to talk about.
Not only that,
you get it. All right, fine. You want to ignore the 2 Wizards because he shouldn't have been out there? I mean, but you counted the stats, though, right?
Counted stats, and they were like, well, he had like 9 40-point games.
He
won All-Star MVP at one point.
He was still able to play, right? So you count him.
But
because without his stats, he's not that high on the scoring list.
I think he falls to 8.
Okay, so you count those. You don't also count all that first round exits and shit he was having early in his career.
We call those pre-Scotty years.
So that's what I'm saying. He didn't do all the shit you love him for in 6 years. He had a whole fucking career.
And we mentioned this because we had a little bit of Jordan-LeBron debate, because it's basketball season and we're coming to the playoffs, and this kind of what's going to happen. And we said, listen, Michael Jordan was my favorite player of all time before LeBron. Michael Jordan was the GOAT before LeBron.
I love Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is fucking amazing.
I love Michael Jordan.
However, when you get to this point, we have to do what Skip kind of does, and you have to nitpick. But you can't just nitpick one side, which is what people do.
You only want to nitpick LeBron, but you never want to talk shit about Jordan.
And also, at the end of the day, Stephen A. said this. He was like, out of the 10,000 people who have played NBA basketball, I have Michael Jordan too. He's the second greatest of all time. And I can honestly be convinced on some days that he was the greatest. I've seen some highlights of his. I'm like, it's impressive.
Even if at the end of the day, LeBron James is the second greatest basketball player of all
what
time.
I won't stand for, we'll talk about Skip's list. Let's talk about Skip's list, by the way. Let's pull this up real quick. Because this list, by the way, so...
corny-ass video he put out. Can't even read. Did you watch the video?
No.
Where he reads his list?
Oh, yeah.
Can't even read.
Why?
I don't know. You tell me. Why can't Skip read?
This shit makes me laugh every fucking time. Here, look. You want to see? Will it read this? I don't think it's gonna read. It doesn't read it. Anyway, it's really funny. So Skip Bayless' top 10 players of all time. This was from the NBA All 75 list. The ESPN put out their own list, which had Oscar Robertson like 2 spots ahead of Kobe. We gotta talk about ESPN's list because ESPN's list isn't good either.
Skip, they have KD and Steph Curry too low. I think Steph Curry is already top 10 of all time.
I think both finished top 10.
I know I've said this 1,000 times on this podcast, and I'm going to continue saying it. I am so tired of Bill Russell cracking the top 10.
Yeah.
I will give you Wilt, but Wilt needs to be like 10, bro.
Yeah, Wilt's got to be further
because
down.
Look at the competition he played against.
Not only look at the competition, check it out. Bill Russell was the ultimate winner. Yes. But if you look at the numbers... Wilt averaged 40 and 20 against Bill.
Not only that, but like you're talking about a league that had 10 teams in it.
It's just not. Bro. So
a lot of these old time players, unless you're talking about Oscar Robertson, because we're averaging a triple double regardless of what. That is commitment and consistency at his base. Yeah. That's why you can't take.
I will say he gets left out of all time debates a lot, and I think that's a little disrespectful. But
Big O.
Definitely. We are going to finish up with this, and then we'll get out of here. But Skip's top 10 players of all time. Number 1, Michael Jordan. Number 2, Magic.
Hard stop. So listen, no. In what world do you take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and throw him behind Magic Johnson? Argue. I want to hear an argument for Magic Johnson above Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The only thing I've ever heard on Magic's behalf is without Magic, Kareem doesn't have as many points. Okay? I would argue without Kareem, Magic has maybe 1 ring. Maybe.
But the first one he did win was without Kareem.
Okay, so he has 1.
Vin?
FYI?
I don't know what that means.
Venn diagram?
Sievert. I'm not gonna try to pronounce your name because I don't want to be rude. But I don't know what the Vin means. Shomas? You think it's Shomas? Anyway, the first ring he did jump at center in Game 6 and put up like 40 and 15 at center. Sure. When Kareem was hurt.
Sure.
I think that gives him a leg up. Now I'm arguing for Magic, not that I believe it. He was definitely.
I'm not saying Magic Johnson's a bad player.
I understand. I have Magic at 3.
I'm saying I don't understand.
Or I'm sorry.
4.
Kareem at 3. Magic at 4.
I've always my top 5 have always been in no particular order because it's up for debate. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and then I always throw Shaq at 5.
I had Shaq at 5.
The only reason why I put Shaq at 5 is because they literally had to change the entire game to stop him.
Yes.
Imagine what they would have done if they'd hack a Shaq and it never been a thing.
Oh, Jesus. Will also had changed.
And imagine what happened if Shaq would have took care of himself.
Yes.
If Shaq stays Magic's skinny.
Yeah, Shaq made it to 5 and let himself go. That's just crazy. Shaq's incredible.
And he's a good dude. By
the
Look
he's
it up.
Fucking amazing.
Look it up.
The Magic was he was the leader of the team in the sense that he ran the show on the court. It was the greatest, what is it called? Showtime. He was the leader of Showtime. The passing, the fast break.
Are you gonna watch the show?
No.
Magic or the Lakers show on HBO Max?
I've got the Lakers show to watch. I got the Dion show to watch.
Dion.
On Disney Plus they got a Dion one. It's about when he went and played in the Super Bowl and the World Series in the same week.
Damn it! I still haven't watched Book of Boba Fett.
Me either, and the only reason I haven't watched it is because I didn't know what we were going to do with it.
Spider-Man. I haven't seen
any of the Spider-Mans.
I'm getting the whole movie spoiled for me now. Spoiled.
Don't spoil it for me because I haven't seen any.
All the villains and the Spider-Mans.
Yeah, but you knew they were going to be there.
Not the Spider-Mans.
You didn't know they were all 3 were going to be there.
I mean, I knew, but I didn't want to know. You know. Spider-Man.
Your mission. I need you to do one of two.
If you should choose to accept it,
is gonna be. I need you to do one of two. Finish The Witcher, or at least catch up to the anime on Attack on Titan, because I need to talk to you about it. I got to talk to Tony about it because he's caught up.
I forgot Attack on Titan came out.
The ending is coming. This is going to be it. You can finally be done with the show and you can get your ending.
I have a feeling it's going to let me down. Anyway, let's talk about this list so we can get out of here.
Skip.
Yep.
We already go. So Magic at 2. Let's try to get through. And because
the next one's going to be a hard stop too.
We got Shaq at 3, Kareem at 4, Tim Duncan at 5, Bill Russell at 6, Kobe at 7. Ironically, I think you have Kobe at 7 too. I have him at 7. You can
him and Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
Timmy. I always have Timmy. Right? I always have Timmy like. No, because where the fuck's Larry Bird? Why is Larry Bird at 8?
Larry Bird's at 8. LeBron is at 9, and Wilt Chamberlain's at 10. Now listen.
My biggest problem with that list isn't even where LeBron is. You got fucking Bill Russell at 6.
Bill Russell being at 6 is crazy. And again, I think personally, I wouldn't be mad if you took both Bill and Will out they're all-time greats. They're fucking awesome. However, they should go in their own thing.
Because here's the thing, they go right with the fucking logo, and
yeah.
They just don't fit in today's NBA. I feel like Bill Russell would get fucking hoed.
Bill Russell was 6'9",
bro,
at center.
Well,
now, granted, today's NBA switched though. It's coming back.
The only thing that I've heard about Wilt Chamberlain is that he was an athletic freak.
Right.
That's fine, and I'm not taking anything from him. And maybe he would have been dominant as shit in today's NBA, or even in the heyday, like the 80s, 90s, when you had to be like a behemoth. Fine. However, I still don't think he does shit against shit. Respected players of all time to me in the NBA are Hakeem Olajuwon and Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, you're right.
Hakeem was a fucking animal,
bro. And
the one shit dude couldn't do but shoot threes.
And even then, man, he probably made a couple.
I bet he could shoot.
I think I was playing a game with you where Shaq and Kareem, or was it Shaq and Yao hit threes?
Bro, it was Yao beat
Shaq
you on the 3, bro. No, Yao tied the game, and then T-Mac hit a buzzer beater.
Listen.
Yeah, that's why he
so we take. Here's our list. We'll order it and put it in pencil. LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Shaq.
You want to go beyond? See, here's the thing. So 6, 7, and 8, depending on how I feel that day, are interchangeable. Larry Bird,
Tim Duncan, and
Kobe Bryant are 6, 7, and 8.
So Shaq is 5.
I kind of want to put Kobe at 8 just because the meaning behind it, because he wore 8. But I don't
Shaq 5.
But you know what?
You can put Kobe at 6.
I'll commit. Shaq at 5, Kobe at 6, LeBron at
Tim Duncan,
Timmy D,
Larry Bird at 8.
Yeah, and then Oscar Robertson and Hakeem Olajuwon
at 9.
But now that I've witnessed Steph Curry, I put Steph at 8. Right behind Tim Duncan for now.
So you dropped out. You would put Larry back 1?
Yeah.
Larry's 9.
Yeah. And then I would put Hakeem at 10.
Hakeem at 10.
Because
you know what? I hate to do it to you. Oscar's going to drop back to 12. And KD's 11.
Oscar Robertson suffers from the same thing that Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell suffer from. You just played too long. It's too long ago. Nobody really knows what you did, and nobody knows if the game would translate. You took LeBron James and put him back in the day. He averages 75 points a game.
Talk. Some of these Kobe fans. I saw somebody have Jordan Kobe.
Here's my thing. Where was this energy when my man was alive?
That's all I'm asking, bro. Like, Kobe. I've heard people say Kobe's the GOAT. Now you're probably really young.
Are you talking about work ethic? Because abso-fucking-lutely. Nobody can outwork that man in the gym. For sure.
Jordan was close.
Pure fucking talent? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. There's a reason he had to work so fucking hard. Now, granted, he had a lot of natural born talent.
But again, you see it from he was drafted at 7 to the Hornets or 13.
Something
So
like that.
already, because most of the time, but like top guys who come right out of high school, KG drafted 1 or 2, fucking T-Mac drafted 1 or 2, LeBron 1, all these guys, Dwight Howard 1.
Everybody in the top.
But
our
Kobe
top
was good enough to make it, but he wasn't dominant. His rookie year, he was what, 5 points or something? Like, and I'm not discrediting it. I'm saying you can. It took him a minute.
Stop making the fact that he died so young
People are using
catapulted, because the same thing's like it's like, so you need to tell me
Kobe at 7 is good here. I think it's fine.
yeah, Bill Russell shouldn't be in there and take Wilt Chamberlain out,
But
and then LeBron needs to catapult it all the way up. Yeah.
LeBron James
Bro,
is 9.
again, if you literally take a list of all the players in the NBA history, and you're in a draft, bro, and the number 1 pick comes up,
Like
who
aliens.
the fuck is taking Shaq first, bro?
Look, you got aliens, right? Aliens come down, you're gonna show them the game of basketball. I've got a bigger, stronger, faster athlete who passes the ball better, who jumps just as high, who scores just as efficiently,
No, fuck
who
that.
defends more versatilely.
Fuck that. You want to show? All right, I'm going to show you one guy, and he's going to show you what basketball is, what it's supposed to be. LeBron James, bro.
Michael Jordan's awesome.
There's
but
nothing LeBron can't do. Yes, he does certain things better than other things, but who gives a fuck?
also, he can't be perfect.
Michael Jordan was the same fucking way. He had 1 year where dude could shoot threes. Other than that, trash.
By the way,
And he was an asshole.
giant asshole. The one his career high in 3-point percentage, I believe, is 32.5, 32.1. Was the year they made it the corner 3 length, which is 22 feet, all the way around. They made the arc the same length all the way around. So there wasn't the top of the key wasn't a 26-foot 3-pointer anymore. That outside those corners weren't 24 feet anymore. It was all 22, and that's the year he had his highest career. And I think if you take out that season, it drops like a full 2% his average.
And that's fine because he wasn't a part of this era.
And that's the other thing. Well, LeBron takes more threes, so he scored more points. But LeBron is literally he's 3 points per game behind Jordan all time.
But again, no, nobody's pointed at that at anybody else. Nobody said that shit about Kobe. Kobe grew up in the same era.
Nah, he was still early, though.
But he was transitioning. But LeBron had to transition too.
Mm-hmm. I think LeBron's had to do the most transitioning because he came in when Shaq was still a dominant center, and that shit mattered. And then he damn near invented small ball by himself. The dude that big can guard the 5 and run the point on the other end. That shit didn't exist. Now people like to attribute the small ball to Steph. Now Steph revolutionized the game, but that was already trending.
Really made
that shit was already trending because
centers were
LeBron.
starting to slowly die out because
Right.
they're like, we can't
Now-
have a guy down here that can't do anything.
Now Steph killed the center. LeBron just kind of made it a little different. Steph killed that motherfucker.
With LeBron, you needed a center that could come out and hit a mid-range.
Yeah, he's got to be a little
With
more versatile.
Steph, you couldn't have a center.
You can't have one on the court, bro. And Steph, by the way, he's gotten a lot of pop this year for setting the record, and he's playing pretty well. But his percentages are shit. He's got a worse floor field goal percentage than Russ. And we've heard all the shit that happened to Russ. Now, granted, Russ has the turnovers and awful shooting in late situations, but
I think
overall,
Steph's just shooting too fucking much.
I thought it was gonna go away after he got the record.
Settle down, because you got fucking Clay back now, and Andrew Wiggins is playing better than he ever has.
Yeah, they gotta get Dre healthy for the playoffs, and they'll be all right. But
Draymond.
anyway,
Shoot with your backpack on, bro. Trash ass.
he's the greatest defender in
Oh,
NBA history.
fuck
So,
yes.
listen, thank you guys for coming out. Next week, hopefully, we have the same crew back. Stop hitting me.
Stop lying.
I can't.
People hear you.
I would like to get
the one
you.
person can hear you.
I had you on this week. You're the co-host. I would like to have you and Tony do an episode. I'd like to have you guys talk about Attack on Titan because I mean it's awesome. I know you don't have time. We talked about Jujutsu Kaisen last week. That show's fantastic. The manga's really good. We talked about anime too, but we didn't have a whole lot of anime to talk about because he's a little bit behind, and that's okay.
Hey, we talked about wrestling.
We talked
today.
a lot about a flexing. We didn't get a whole lot of the nerd in. I feel like the wrestling was.
I am
but
letting the nerd down right now.
It's true, but that's okay. It happens. It's fine. Anyway,